Hi, and a very warm welcome to the weekend edition of Wellbeing Wisdom. I'm Greg Parry. I'm really glad you could join me. And I was just wondering, what kind of issues are you preoccupied with at the moment? What are the areas that are causing you stress, anxiety, or concern? And it's an important question because we've known, I guess almost forever, that we devote an enormous amount of energy towards the maintenance of our fears. It's very easy to take the impression that our fears are something that happen just as a result of what's going on around us, that we are reacting to the things that we perceive, the people we encounter. But most of our fears are based on the way that we're filtering the information. You could almost say that the fear response is generated within us rather than being a direct result of what's happening to us. That might seem very strange because most of our reactions are based on habits, familiar ways of responding to the world around us. They become so deeply ingrained, we forget that we have a choice. But when you consider how much of your wonderful creative energy is being absorbed, in fact just wasted, in maintaining the stress response, you may get a clue about why this subject is so important for your health, for your well-being, for your success, for your ability to be more creative, more centered, more empowered. In some traditions, they teach that around about 90%, I don't know why it's 90%, it's just what they say, around 90% of our creative energy gets diverted into maintaining the fear response. Now, that's quite a thought, because if we can distance ourselves from the habit, if we can just take a step back from those knee-jerk reactions of stress and anxiety, if we stop feeding the fear with so much of our emotional energy, all that power is available to you in a heartbeat for you to come up with superb, wonderful, creative ways for you to deal with whatever it is that appears to be causing you stress. We are an incredibly creative species, but when we get absorbed and locked into the habit of fear and stress, a lot of that potential is just wasted. So, what I'd like to suggest to you today is that you take a little bit of time to consider how you're reacting. Remember, most of the way that we think and feel, most of the way we behave, these are based on conditioned behaviors, patterns of behavior that were instilled in us when we were still very, very young and highly impressionable. But we are not obliged, certainly not condemned, to repeat those feelings and behaviors for the rest of our lives. And if you just take a moment, a heartbeat, to breathe and think, yeah, perhaps there's an alternative. There's another way for me to think and feel and behave. Once you give yourself the gift, the choice of how you want to respond, if you want to respond, you set off on a whole new pathway of possibility. You may decide that remaining calm and strong and centered is infinitely preferable to wasting your energy being angry and upset. You may decide that your well-being is worth so much more than the habit of just being angry or frustrated. The more you can use your natural creative energy to promote your well-being, the less resistance you're going to encounter in life. It just takes a little bit of practice. What do you think? Does that sound like a good idea? Please feel free to share your thoughts and feelings with me. I'm always delighted to get communication. And as I wish you a wonderful weekend, I look forward to being back with you next week.